Welcome everyone, this is Alex Burke from the Salem Museum and Historical Society, and for this week's installment of White Glove Wednesdays, we're here to take a look at the portrait right behind me. This is familiar to a lot of people in Salem because this is Edward Beyer's view of Salem, painted in 1855. Although this is just a copy to the original is owned by the Virginia Fine Arts Museum in Richmond. Beyer was a traveling German landscape artist, and he came to America in the 1850s. Here's a picture of what he looked like. And he was a super detailed artist. He'd paint these massive landscapes. And he came to America in the 1850s, as I said, and he traveled up and down the East Coast. He came to Salem in 1855, and the most familiar one that he painted was the one right behind me. And this is a view of downtown Salem. Other paintings he did were Edge Hill, which is the current Veterans Hospital, and Bellevue, which is the Lewis Homestead. But this picture right here is the closest thing to a photograph that we can get of Salem right before the Civil War, and it's a truly fascinating resource for historians. The 6 of these buildings actually still stand today. First one I'll mention is this one right here, which is the Macaulay House. We have up a little farther on Main Street, we have the Salem Presbyterian Church. We have Monterey and the Clay Street House, which was just restored by Roanoke College, with Roanoke College's administration buildings up right beside it. And we currently have the home of the Salem Museum at the Williams Brown House right there. And there's a lot of other really unique details in this painting as well, because he was a super detailed artist. If you look closely on the original, in some of the different patios and the windows, you can actually see people standing there and waving back at you. And there's even a small little train over here on the left portion of the picture itself. And I didn't realize that until I started working here and got the chance to look at the portrait more. But it's a truly fascinating piece because people wonder where it was painted at. Beyer was standing on East Hill right before the cemetery was put in and painted this landscape. And he actually pictured what Salem would look like if he was standing 10 feet in the air looking down onto it. It's a truly tremendous resource for Salem. But in 1980, the Virginia State Library came together and organized some of the known works for Beyer. And these are just a couple of the ones that he did. And they organized. And this is a view of Natural Bridge. Here's a view of the Peaks of Otter. And here's the Roanoke Red Sulphur Springs. In the album of Virginia, there is over 40 different pictures of Beyer's views on the Virginia, and it's a truly fascinating resource. Another really unique thing is Beyer actually hid himself in a lot of his paintings. So he was sort of like an antique Where's Waldo situation with his artwork, and it's a truly unique story to go with it. But that's going to conclude it, everyone, for this week's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Alex Burke from the Salem Museum and Historical Society. I'll see you next time.